They told us we knew everything about ancient history. They told us the maps were complete. But underneath our feet, civilizations have been waiting. Silent cities carved into rock. Temples that swallow you whole. Passages that stretch for miles under mountains where nothing should exist. One man knocks down a basement wall in 1963 and finds 20,000 people could have lived beneath his house. Farmers drain a pond in China in 1992 and discover caves so perfect, so precisely cut, that engineers today cannot explain them. A scholar in 1545 hears locals catching fish from their basement floors in Istanbul and finds 336 columns holding up a palace nobody remembered. And what they built in places where survival should have been impossible tells us we barely understand what humans can do when they need to hide, worship, or simply refuse to die. 12 underground structures, 12 places that defy logic, each one discovered by accident, each one hiding in plain sight, and each one forcing us to rewrite what we thought we knew about the ancient world. If you value documented archaeological history like this, subscribe. It is the best way to support our work. Also comment from which city you are hearing this from. Also, this script is researched and factual, using sources from Archaeological Prospection Journal, published May 2024 by Tohoku University research teams, Heritage Daily Archaeological Reports from May 2022, and the Stanford University Chavin de Huantar Archaeological Research and Conservation Program findings, confirmed by Peru's Ancash Directorate of Culture in May 2022. These are not secondary sources. These are field reports from active excavation sites and peer-reviewed archaeological publications. Now back to the information. He was renovating his basement in Derinkuyu, Nevşehir Province, central Turkey. His chickens kept disappearing through cracks. He grabbed a sledgehammer. The wall came down. Behind it, darkness. A tunnel, then more tunnels, rooms, staircases carved into volcanic rock. He had found an entire city, 18 stories deep, 85 meters straight down, built to house 20,000 people, with their livestock, with their food stores, with wine presses and oil presses and chapels and a barrel-vaulted ceiling on the second floor, unlike anything else in Cappadocia. Used continuously until 1923, when the Greco-Turkish population exchange expelled the last Cappadocian Greeks who knew it existed, then forgotten, sealed, lost for 40 years until that basement wall came down. The local Turks above had been drawing water from these wells for decades, lowering buckets through ancient shafts, never knowing their water passed through a buried metropolis. The city had rolling stone doors, half-ton wheels. Each floor could be sealed independently, from the inside, in case of invasion. Arab-Byzantine wars, Mongolian raids under Timur in the 14th century, persecution by Ottoman rulers. Each wave sent Christians underground. A religious school with a unique barrel-vaulted ceiling, chapels carved into soft volcanic tuff. Tools marks, living spaces, community organization, proof that humans can vanish underground and build a functioning society that survives millennia. The soft tuff made carving easy, but cave-ins were constant threats. Support pillars had to be perfect. None have ever collapsed. Near the Q River, local legends said the ponds were bottomless. Wu and I did not believe it. He pooled money with neighbors, bought a water pump, started draining. For 17 days, the pump ran. The water level dropped, and dropped. On day 17, the bottom appeared, but it was not a bottom. It was a roof, stone carved in parallel lines, a staircase leading down. Wu and I had found one of 24 hand-carved caves, covering 30,000 square meters, descending 30 meters underground, built over 2,000 years ago, and not recorded in any historical document anywhere. 1 million cubic meters of rock removed. Not a single piece of extracted stone found anywhere nearby. Not one tool discovered. No pottery, no habitation debris, just empty carved space, perfect and silent, and utterly inexplicable. Archaeologists from China, Japan, Poland, Singapore, and the United States have studied them. Nobody can explain who built them, why they were built, or how they were built without leaving any trace. The only clue is glazed clay pottery dated to the Western Han Dynasty, 206 BC to 23 AD, found in silt on the cave floors. This suggests the caves existed before the pottery was dropped, so construction likely began over 2,000 years ago. Carving parallel lines across every surface required exponentially more labor than rough excavation. Why? What did the lines mean? Were they symbolic? Decorative? Structural? Nobody knows. If these were sacred spaces, why no altars? Why no offerings? And why, when other natural ponds in the region teem with fish and life, were the Longyou caves completely barren when drained? No fish, no organisms, nothing alive, just stone and water and silence. Centralized planning, a society outcapable of mobilizing massive labor forces. Yet no historical records exist, not in Chinese texts, not in local folklore. The 17th century poet Yu Shun mentioned them. That is it. The caves simply waited, filled with water, forgotten. Until Wu and I bought a pump and drained a legend. The Byzantine Empire, Constantinople, the year 532 AD. Emperor Justinian thereafter orders construction. A water reservoir beneath the Stoa Basilica. The cistern will supply the Great Palace. The Topkapi Palace later. Filtered water. 80,000 cubic meters, enough to survive sieges, enough to outlast empires. The cistern measures 138 meters by 65 meters, 9,800 square meters. Cathedral size, 336 marble columns, 9 meters tall, arranged in 12 rows of 28. Each column unique, salvaged from older Roman structures, different cities, different eras. 2 columns rest on Medusa heads, one sideways, one upside down. Why? Nobody knows. Probably to neutralize her power, or maybe just practical. Reused stone. Builders did not care about orientation, just stability. 7,000 slaves built it. Byzantine architect Tralles designed it. The cistern supplied water until the Byzantine emperors relocated from the Great Palace. Then it was abandoned, forgotten. The Ottoman conquest in 1453. The cistern faded from memory, became legend, until 1545. Petrus Gillius, a French scholar, was researching Byzantine antiquities in Istanbul. Locals told him strange stories. They lowered buckets through basement floors. They drew up fresh water. Some even caught fish. Gillius investigated. He explored basements, found an entrance, descended, and stood in a vast underground palace. 336 columns rising from shallow water, arches, vaulted brick ceilings, fish swimming lazily below walkways, the Basilica Cistern, hidden for a century, rediscovered by accident. Sunken palace, but they did not respect it. It became a dumping ground, trash, corpses, neglect. Until 18th century repairs under Sultan Ahmed III in 1723. More repairs under Sultan Abdul Hamid II in the 19th century. Then serious restoration, 1985 to 1987. Istanbul Metropolitan Municipality removed 50,000 tons of silt, uncovered the Medusa column bases, installed wooden walkways, opened it as a museum in 1987. Another restoration from 2020 to 2022. Concrete walkways from mid-20th century dismantled. 1,440 cubic meters of concrete removed. 1,600 cubic meters of sediment cleared. Original 6th century Byzantine brick floor revealed. New modular steel walkway installed. Reversible, non-invasive. Seismic resilience improved. The cistern remains stunning. Water still drips from columns. Fish still swim. Dim lighting. Eerie, atmospheric. When you descend the steps today, the temperature drops. Cool air rises from below. The sound changes. Traffic noise from Istanbul streets fades, replaced by echoes, water dripping, footsteps on steel walkways. The columns appear endless, 336, each 9 meters tall, each unique, some Ionic capitals. Some Corinthian, some Doric, mixed styles, mixed origins. Proof that Byzantine builders scavenged from across the empire. From Greece, from Anatolia, from Syria. Wherever stone could be salvaged, they took it. Practical, economic, and beautiful. The heads are massive, classical Hellenistic style. Detailed curls, snakes writhing, eyes vacant, power neutralized. In Greek mythology, Medusa turned anyone who looked at her to stone, by inverting her, by placing her sideways. The builders stripped that power, or so the theory goes. Another theory, more pragmatic. The heads were salvaged, too heavy to reposition. Builders used them as found, fitted them where they worked. Function over symbolism. The novel and its 2016 film adaptation. Robert Langdon navigates the cistern, searching for clues. Historical thriller. The cistern, perfect setting. Mysterious. Ancient. Forgotten. Then remembered. Assassin's Creed Revelations. The 2011 video game. Players control Ezio Auditore, exploring a section of the cistern called Yerbatan Cistern in game. Accurate name. Atmospheric level design. Salvaged from the Forum of Constantine. From older temples. One theory suggests some came from a forum fire, recycled rather than wasted. Byzantine builders were master recyclers. They understood material value. Stone does not decay. Marble lasts millennia. Why quarry new stone when old stone works? Economic, efficient, and respectful. They honored the past by using it. The cistern was never destroyed, never rebuilt. It stands today as Justinian built it in 532 AD, 1,500 years later, through earthquakes. 22 major seismic events recorded since construction, through wars, Byzantine wars, Crusader occupations, Ottoman conquest, World War I. None destroyed it. The vaulted brick ceilings held, the columns stood, the structure endured. Proof of Byzantine engineering genius. Proof that master builders do not just construct for their own time, they construct for eternity. And proof that even empires forget their greatest works, because the Ottomans forgot, for a century, until fish appeared in basement buckets, And a French scholar descended into darkness and found a palace. Another underground city in Cappadocia opened to tourists in 1964, 1 year after Derinkuyu was rediscovered, connected to Derinkuyu by 8 to 9 kilometers of tunnels. Keimakli is wider than Derinkuyu, shallower, 8 floors, only 4 accessible to visitors. 20 meters down, 66 feet, but it spreads out, vast. 3,500 people lived here at peak capacity, maybe more. The city was built by Phrygians in the 8th to 7th century BC, expanded by Byzantine Greeks, used during Arab-Byzantine wars from 780 to 1180 AD, protection from Muslim raids, then Mongolian incursions under Timur in the 14th century, then Ottoman persecution of Christians. Each floor organized around ventilation shafts. Room layouts depend on airflow. First floor has stables, small, suggests more stables exist in unopened sections. Millstone doors, rolling stones, half-ton boulders, defensive. Each level could seal independently. Storage rooms dominate the 4th floor, massive. Economic stability, earthenware jars, granaries, food for months, for years. Keimakli stored copper, too. Copper mining between Aksaray and Nevşehir, 10-centimeter diameter holes, copper hammered into place. This technique appears at Aşıklı Höyük, the oldest settlement in Cappadocia. Practical. UNESCO World Heritage status granted in 1985. Keimakli and Derinkuyu together. Göreme National Park and the rock sites of Cappadocia. The recognition came 21 years after Keimakli opened, but the city is ancient, over 2,000 years, used continuously, expanded constantly. Each wave of inhabitants adapted the space, added rooms, deepened passages, until 1923 when the Christians left and the tunnels fell silent. Housing project discovers rival to Derinkuyu. The tunnels lead to something bigger, a multi-level settlement, living spaces, kitchens, wineries, chapels, staircases, bazirane, linseed presses for lamp oil, underground illumination, artifacts, grindstones, stone crosses, ceramics, Byzantine era through Ottoman conquest. The city appears massive, self-sustaining, air shafts, water channels, round stone doors, livestock pens, supplies, everything needed to survive sieges. The site sits beneath a Byzantine-era hilltop fortress, early Byzantine construction. At least, size unknown. Nevşehir Museum Director Murat Gulyaz leads the investigation. He is cautious. We cannot say the full extent yet, but the location is strategic, defensible, a water supply nearby. It likely spans a very large area. It may rival Derinkuyu, maybe surpass it. Derinkuyu holds 20,000, Nevşehir might hold more. The mayor, Hasan Unver, is excited. He wants the world's largest antique park, boutique hotels above ground, art galleries, walking trails, and museum below. The housing complex moved to suburbs, plans to reopen underground churches. But excavation is slow, dangerous. The soft tuff collapses easily. Rubble must be cleared carefully. Tunnels shored up. The work will take decades, centuries maybe. Barely 10 years ago, which means Cappadocia still hides cities, still holds secrets. Over 200 underground cities are known in the region, only 6 excavated: Derinkuyu, Keimakli, Ozkanak, Mazi, Tatlarin, Ozlutza, and now Nevşehir. Each one unique, each one capable of sheltering thousands. The Cappadocian volcanic tuff is soft, perfect for carving, perfect for hiding, perfect for survival, and perfect for forgetting. Because once you seal a city underground, once you stop using it, it vanishes. Until a backhoe breaks through, or a basement renovation, or a housing project. Then the past returns. Wu Anai wanted facts. He gathered villagers, pooled funds, bought a hydraulic pump. Industrial strength, started pumping on day 1. Water levels dropped slowly, very slowly. The villagers watched. Skeptical? Day 5, still pumping. Day 10, water receding. Day 15, shapes appearing below. Stone. Day 17, the pump stopped. The pond was empty, but not empty. A carved entrance, a stairwell descending into rock. Wu and I climbed down, into cave 1, then cave 2, then 3, 4, 5, 24 caves total, each independent. No connecting passages, each with one entrance, one vertical shaft. Rainwater and runoff designed to flow in, but no crossover, no shared corridors. Why? If you excavate 1 million cubic meters of stone, why not connect the caves? Save effort, create networks. But the builders did not. Each cave stands alone. Trapezoidal, some with slanted roofs, angles that deflect weight, pillars carved in place, not added, carved from the bedrock, left standing as the rock around them was removed. The precision is inhuman. The consistency is obsessive. Every wall has the same parallel chisel marks, every pillar, every ceiling, as if the builders were not creating functional space, but fulfilling a pattern, a template, something sacred or symbolic or both. Researchers from Zhejiang University examined the caves. Dr. Chu Liangkai proposed they were warehouses, built by order of Emperor Xuan of the Western Han Dynasty. storage for food, goods, weapons. But warehouses do not need decorations, do not need uniform chisel marks, do not need carvings of horses and birds. Another theory. King Gojian of the state of Yue, 494 BC. He was defeated in battle, needed to hide his soldiers. Thousands of troops, secret training, revenge. The caves could hide an army, train them underground, launch a surprise attack. It fits the timeline, it fits the scale, but it does not fit the artistry. Soldiers do not carve fish into walls. Not one inscription inside, not one artifact that explains purpose. Just stone, carvings, water, and silence. Cave 1 open to tourists. Thousands visit annually. They walk through dimly lit passages. They see the carvings, the horse, the bird, the fish. They touch the pillars. They ask guides, "Who built this? Why?" The guides shrug. Nobody knows, and that is the truth. After 30 years of research, after experts from 6 countries, after ground-penetrating radar and structural analysis, nobody knows. The Longyou caves remain one of archaeology's most complete mysteries, not because we lack evidence, but because the evidence we have makes no sense. 4,500 years old, the largest pyramid in Egypt, the Western Cemetery next to it, mastabas, flat-roofed rectangular tombs, limestone and mud brick, built for Khufu's family, high-ranking officials. The necropolis was excavated in the 20th century, extensively, but one area was left untouched, a vacant stretch, no above-ground features, no monuments, no reason to dig, until 2021. Researchers from Higashi Nippon International University and Tohoku University in Japan partnered with Egypt's National Research Institute of Astronomy and Geophysics. They used ground-penetrating radar, GPR, and electrical resistivity tomography, ERT, non-invasive, no digging. They scanned the vacant area and found an anomaly. Highly electrically resistive, the team published findings in Archaeological Prospection Journal in May 2024. The shallow L-shaped structure could be an entrance. The deep anomaly could be sand and gravel, or sparse spacing with air voids, which suggests chambers, rooms, a tomb. The team leader, Moriyuki Sato from Tohoku University, told the press, "It may have been an entrance to a deeper structure. We believe the continuity of the shallow and deep structures is important. We cannot determine the material causing the anomaly, but it may be a large subsurface archaeological structure. But it is certainly worthy of further exploration. The area had avoided exploration because no surface tomb warranted investigation, but the GPR revealed the surface is irrelevant. What lies below is separate, hidden, untouched for 45 centuries. The team has not excavated. Not yet. The site is sensitive. UNESCO World Heritage. Structural concerns, political considerations. But the scans are clear. Something is down there. Something large. Something that does not match known mastaba construction. And something that was deliberately hidden or simply forgotten. 16 feet down. In a vacant patch nobody thought to check. What else is buried? What else waits? The site dates to 4,300 years ago. Excavations began 5 years before 2023. The Institute of Archaeology, Chinese Academy of Social Sciences, led the work, in collaboration with Inner Mongolia Autonomous Region Institute of Cultural Relics and Archaeology. In 2023, they announced a discovery: underground tunnels, a network, hidden below the city, part of an elaborate triple defense system. The tunnels measure 1 to 2 meters high, 1.5 meters wide, arched ceilings. The architecture resembles Longshan period cave dwellings. Tool marks visible on walls, chisel scars, manual excavation. The tunnels serve dual purpose: transportation, defense and offense, a way to move unseen, attack from below, retreat underground. The system includes the main city wall, main gate, horse faces, gatehouse walls, terraces, moats. Inner gatehouse and outer gatehouse. The tunnels connect them. Allow defenders to reinforce positions without exposure. Allow surprise attacks from hidden exits. Strategic location, cultural significance. Ongoing excavations continue. High-level buildings being uncovered, burial areas, architectural remains. But the tunnels are the revelation, because they prove something. Ancient Chinese cities were not just walled, they were layered. Surface fortifications visible, subsurface networks invisible. An enemy could surround the city, lay siege, and never know defenders were moving beneath their feet, reinforcing, flanking, escaping, or preparing counterattack. That is not luck, that is mastery. Heavily used for centuries, abandoned before Romans arrived. The fort has ditches, ramparts, post holes for roundhouses, evidence of settlement, agriculture, community. But the most intriguing find is underground, a souterrain, semi-underground stone-built chamber, nearly 30 feet long, 13 feet wide, 3 feet deep, river rock from the Tay, stone floor, walls supported by boulders, 200 known across Scotland, mostly from final centuries BC and first 2 centuries AD, part of Iron Age Scottish culture. Their function is unknown. The Broxy-Kennel Souterrain was excavated and analysed by specialists from National Museum Scotland and Universities of Glasgow and Stirling. They found cereal grain on the floor, not enough for storage. Some suggest they were hiding places, ritual spaces, cold storage, nobody knows. The Broxy-Kennel Souterrain was built around 400 BC. The inhabitants filled in part of one ditch, constructed the underground passage into the backfilled ditch, then dug a third ditch and rampart around the passage, protecting the underground structure. Why? What was valuable enough to bury and fortify? Just before Roman army arrived in that area, then abandoned. Why? Did societal habits change? Did the Romans force inhabitants to flee? Did the fort lose strategic value? Excavation director Gordon Noble from University of Aberdeen said the site provides invaluable opportunity to learn how people near Perth lived more than 2,000 years ago. But the souterrain remains a mystery, even after intensive analysis. It was built, it was used, it was protected, and then it was abandoned and forgotten, until road construction broke through and another underground structure returned to light. Archaeologist Ivan Sprite from Institute of Anthropological and Spatial Studies in Slovenia directs the team. They are excavating beneath the ball court. They find an earlier building, subterranean, painted walls, only parts visible. Further excavation needed to reveal shape and function. The finding is evidently very important, Sprite told Live Science. Ball courts are normally found only at major Maya sites, centers of regional political organization. This site is significant. After most Classic period Maya settlements were abandoned, after the crisis in 9th and 10th centuries, overpopulation, soil depletion, climate change, prolonged droughts, destructive warfare, demographic collapse, but small impoverished groups remained, rambling around, placing offerings on buildings of their forebears. The underground structure predates the offerings, probably Classic period, 200 to 900 AD, maybe earlier. The discovery was announced July 2024, 7 months ago. The site is in a previously unexplored area south of Okumtun, a lost Maya city found by the same team in 2023. Multiple large pyramids, Classic period. The region is dense with undiscovered Maya settlements, residential buildings, temple pyramids. Each excavation reveals more, but the underground structure beneath the ball court is unique, because it was deliberately built below, or the ball court was built on top. Either way, the structure was hidden, preserved. The painted walls suggest importance, religious, political, ceremonial. But without full excavation, we do not know. What we know is this: the Maya built underground, intentionally, and what they buried well. Germany, Lichtenau, North Rhine-Westphalia, 2024, late in the year, workers renovating historic buildings, standard procedure, careful, documented, then they find it. A vaulted cellar, medieval, large, well preserved, intact beneath centuries of urban development. The structure could date to the town's founding, 1321 or earlier. Exact age under investigation, purpose unknown. The Westphalia-Lippe Regional Association emphasized significance. This kind of find, relatively large, well-preserved, historically situated, offers a rare window into urban life and architectural practices from the town's formative era. The cellar's size and craftsmanship are intriguing. Vaulted ceiling, stone construction. Designed for storage, shelter, workshops, something important. The town of Lichtenau was founded in 1321, 703 years ago. The cellar could be original, part of the town's first construction phase. Or it could predate the town, a structure the town was built around, common in medieval Europe. Settlers found existing buildings, ruins, cellars, built on top, integrated them, forgot them, until excavation, beneath grass. And sometimes all it takes is renovation, chance, a worker's shovel hitting stone instead of dirt, and the past surfaces. January, researchers discover an underground city, beneath 5 historic houses, small stone chambers, rocky foundations, practical uses, water management, security, accessibility. Hossein Hatami, Aberku governor, announced the discovery in an interview. The underground city likely served multiple purposes. The chambers are small, but they connect, form networks, lead to larger spaces. Beautifully crafted, crucial for managing the town's water supply. The stones resemble Qajar-era structures, 18th to early 20th century. But the chambers could be older, much older. The ancient inhabitants built steps along water channels, leading to houses, easy access, efficient water flow management. The design shows sophistication, planning, engineering skill. The underground city enriches Aberku's cultural narrative. The town is famous for a 4,000-year-old cypress tree, architectural wonders, historical significance. Now add underground networks, water systems, hidden chambers. But the discovery offers valuable insights into ancient building methods, water management, daily life. It highlights creativity and resilience of the region's ancient inhabitants. And it reminds us, even now, even this morning, underground cities are still being found, still revealing themselves, still waiting beneath our feet. 12 places where humans carved survival into stone and then forgot. Derinkuyu found because chickens disappeared through basement cracks. Longyou caves found because a farmer did not believe in bottomless ponds. Basilica Cistern found because locals were fishing from their basements. Keimakli found 1 year after Derinkuyu. Nevshehir found because a housing project broke ground. Giza. Western Cemetery anomaly found because radar does not care about vacant land. Haoqingzui tunnels found because excavation never stops. Broxy kennels, souterrain found because Scotland builds roads. Maya, underground structure, found because ball courts hide secrets. Lichtenau cellar found because renovation requires digging. Aberku underground city found this morning because researchers kept looking. To reconsider. To admit we do not know as much as we thought. The ancient world was not simple, not primitive, not limited to what we see on the surface. Civilizations built down, deep. They carved cities that could swallow populations. They engineered water systems that functioned for millennia. They created defensive networks that turned battlefields three-dimensional. They constructed ceremonial spaces underground where darkness and stone amplified ritual and power. And they did this everywhere. Turkey, China, Egypt, Scotland, Mexico, Germany, Iran, Peru. Every culture, every continent, underground. Forgotten by everyone except the stone itself. And the stone keeps the secret. Until someone knocks down a wall, until someone drains a pond, until someone excavates a ball court or builds a road or renovates a house, then the stone speaks, and we listen. And we learn that beneath every modern city, beneath every ancient ruin, beneath every vacant lot, and every basement floor, there might be another world, waiting, silent, carved by hands that understood survival better than we ever will, waiting for someone to understand, just like the cities themselves, waiting for someone to realize that what we forgot, our ancestors remembered, that what we cannot explain, they knew how to build, and that underneath the maps we drew, underneath the history we wrote, underneath everything we thought was solid ground, there is another history, carved, hidden, enduring, and it is not finished revealing itself.